Bhagavan revealed his resolve to launch this monthly magazine during his conversation with Professor N. Kasturi, the first editor of Sanathana Saradhi, in the house of Sri Vitthal Rao at Wilson Garden, Bangalore. Bhagavan said to Professor Kasturi, "Now you have work at Puttaparthi. A monthly magazine will start soon." He also told him that he had decided to designate it as Sanatana Saradhi. The first issue of the magazine was printed in a press at Dharmavaram. Later, when Bhagavan visited Bangalore, he himself went to Vichar Darpan Press on Avenue Road and bought a foot-operated treadle printing machine. Bhagavan also bought a case each of Telugu and English types and other necessary equipment to set up a printing press at Prashanti Nilayam, which was to be named Sri Satya Sai Press. The press was set up in a small room at the eastern end of what was earlier called Pathashala block. For many months, Sanatana Saradhi was bilingual and contained both English and Telugu matter. Bhagavan was its main contributor. He specially wrote an article for Sanatana Saradhi every month. Professor Kasturi went to Bhagavan to collect this handwritten article in Telugu, which he translated into English and put both English and Telugu versions in the same issue. Professor Kasturi gives a very interesting account of the processes through which the magazine passed in his autobiographical book, Loving God. Every month, after the printing was over, I stuffed the quantity of English and Telugu magazines into 2 gigantic boxes, took them to Bukkapatnam on a bullock cart, had them lifted to the roof of the bus proceeding to Penukonda, and ordered the bus to stop near the level crossing about 300 yards away from the Penukonda railway station. The boxes were brought down from the bus and a Tarzanian porter, Narasappa, carried them as head load to the platform. There, I awaited the arrival of the passenger train to Bangalore. Reaching Bangalore, porters loaded them into a horse-drawn vehicle, which I directed to a press which had a cutting machine. The English and Telugu magazines were then taken to the house of a devotee in the heart of the city. I spent the night there with a dozen young men who volunteered to put the magazines into wrappers with the addresses on, which I had brought from Nilayam. Next day, I repeated the schedule while returning. Horse-drawn vehicle, porters, Bangalore railway journey, Pinukonda station, Narasappa, level crossing, bus until Bukkapatnam, bullock cart, and finally the Prashanti Nilayam post office. The devotees received it with reverence and thanked the postman who brought the magazine. In the year 1973, the press was shifted to Brindavan, Whitefield, Bangalore, and was named Vraja Brindavan Press. Bhagavan graciously inaugurated it on the 1st of January 1973. In the year 1986, the press was shifted back to Prashanti Nilayam and was set up at a place where now stands the Junior Boys Hostel. Sometime after this, Professor Kasturi merged with the Lord, and Sri V.K. Narasimhan became the editor of Sanathana Saradhi in September 1987. In the year 1994, the press was shifted to its present location in the northern part of Prashanti Nilayam. In the very first issue of Sanatana Saradhi, the first article was given by Bhagavan, which was a part of a series of articles proposed to be made later into a book to be named Prema Vahini. Bhagavan continued contributing his monthly articles for Sanatana Saradhi every month from its first issue in February 1958 up to October 1984, which contained his 8th and final article of Leela Kaivalya Vahini, the last of the 16 books of the Vahini series. This in itself is a stupendous work if we see merely its magnitude. This is a unique example in the world that an author wrote one article, and sometimes two, consistently every month for a magazine for 26 long years without any break. Professor V.K. Gokak, the first Vice-Chancellor of Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, calls these Vahini books little gems and classics of spiritual life. Bhagavan's discourses and Vahini books are verily the Vedas and the Upanishads, the divine knowledge of which Bhagavan, in his compassion, is imparting directly to modern man. Behind the fascinating success story of Sanatana Saradhi is the Sankalpa of Bhagavan. On the occasion of the annual day of Sanatana Saradhi, celebrated at Prashanti Nilayam in 1962, Bhagavan had emphatically declared, Sanatana Saradhi is a result of my Sankalpa, will, my Utsaha, energy, and my Ananda, joy. Nothing can stand in the way once I have decided on any step in my mission. The uniqueness of Bhagavan's discourses, compiled in nearly 40 volumes of Satya Sai Speaks, is that they are as fresh and enrapturing today as they were 6 decades ago. It is therefore no surprise that hundreds of thousands throng to listen to them when they are delivered, and read them with avidness and reverence when they appear in the printed form in Sanatana Saradhi. It was in 1978 that Bhagavan said, Sanatana Saradhi is the bridge which leads you to me and brings me to you. Today, this bridge extends over all the oceans of the world, so that there are millions in all corners of the world whose life has been transformed by this magazine, which is being printed in 25 Indian and overseas languages. It has subscribers in almost all the countries of the world who read it with reverence like any other scripture. Bhagavan willed Sanathana Saradhi to be a purely and uncompromisingly spiritual magazine to convey to mankind his message of love, unity and peace, so as to bring joy, solace and harmony in their life. Therefore, conspicuous by its absence in this magazine is the business motive which distinguishes all Bhagavan's endeavors from others. In the very first issue in February 1958, it was announced, no commercial advertisement will be published in this magazine. Bhagavan has declared, Aham Satyabodhaka, I am the teacher of truth. Sanatana Saradhi is the chief medium through which this universal teacher of truth conveys his divine message to mankind. In one of his messages given in Sanatana Saradhi, he says, Man may master the universe, but what can he claim to have known when he has not mastered himself? When he has no awareness of himself, he has no knowledge of the knower. Sanatana Saradhi has as its mission the assertion of this truth, the installation of this truth in the heart of man, and insistence on the practice of this truth by everyone. On the Golden Jubilee of Sanatana Saradhi, let us hope and pray that the media leaders of the world would follow the glorious example set by Bhagavan and make use of the media in leading the people of the world towards the path of love, righteousness, unity, purity, peace, morality, selflessness and spirituality.
Varthillavamma kalakalam Sanatana Saradhi. బడియలేని కుగ్రామమునకు విశ్వవిద్యాలయమే నడిచొచ్చెను. వైద్యం ఎరుగని పర్తిలో నేడు సర్వోత్తమ వైద్యాలయమే వెలసెను. వందలాది గ్రామములలో ఉన్న లక్షల మందికి నీరు అందెను. బాటయలేని పుట్టపర్తికి బస్సులు రైళ్లు విమానములొచ్చెను. ఎవరికి తెలియని ఆ కుగ్రామమే విశ్వశాంతికి నిలయం వాయను. ఎవరి నీడన ధర్మము నడుచును. సాయిరాం సాయిరాం. ఎవరి ప్రేమలో కాన్నే గెలిచెను. సాయిరాం సాయిరాం. ఎక్కడ సత్యము రూపు దాల్చెను. సాయిరాం సాయిరాం. ఎక్కడ ప్రేమే మతం వాయను. ఎవరి జీవితము మానవాళికి సందేశముగా మారిపోయెను. ఆ భగవానుని అనాథనాథుని వజ్ర సంకల్పుని కరుణామయుని పలుకులనే గత 10 ఏళ్లుగా ఇంటింటికి అందించిన తల్లి. వర్ధిల్లుము మా తల్లి కోటి కోటి వత్సరాలు. వర్ధిల్లుము మా మనసును ప్రక్షాళన గావిస్తూ. వర్ధిల్లుము కులమతాల